heat, and that was on air conditioning. You know, it goes to be on both sides, and each one fighting the other one. Yeah. Hang on. So Rashi says, I've got no Shabbos and stuff. Rashi says on Tzav Ahren, the Loshen Tzav. So Rashi says, "Ein el Loshen Zrizus miyad l'doiris." Amar Rab Shimon, Rabbi Yosef tzorich hakosu l'zaris b'mokim shesh b'cheson kis. So here's the question: what kind of cheson kis do you have here? Of course, you're to bring a korban, right? And buy a pair of tefillin, and buy an esrog and a lulav, and all these are all cheson kisses, and you don't find any zrizus by any of them. I'm sure they may need zrizus, but you don't find that the Torah is mizaris. Why don't you write it all by them? Why are you writing it dafka by a korban oil?
Burnt up then. It's all burnt up. It's all burnt up.
It's all burnt up.
It's all burnt up.
By itself.
There's nothing left. You don't have it. You don't have anything.
You don't have it in another place.
No, but by tefillin, you have the tefillin for the rest of your life. You have that tefillin. The oil is all burnt up.
Nah, that's what I'm saying, but an esrog, it dries up. What's it different? You're right, you're taking, you know, by the tefillin I have a long time. There's mitzvahs that are for the minute. I mean, matzah, you eat up, and it's finished. And this year you're going to find out exactly what the song kiss means for matzah. I mean, we're lucky yet, I think. We're paying $40 a pound, something like that. These places pay $80 a pound. So, what do you call it? The matzah, you know, so you should get that inside, right? To pay that, they made you know, with the time of Chazal, I'm sure they would have made a takona. You should buy machine matzah for a nickel a pound and whatever it is, if it was such a thing. Except the matzah, the thing there. Anyway, so what's pshat in the taki in this thing? So I think the pshat is it's not just enough. Like the we said before about the yoila, what the purpose of the yoila is. The purpose of the yoila is to come as a declaration through a maaseh that everything I have comes from Hashem, and that's because I'm destroying it, and I'm saying if the bench wants me to have it, he has plenty. Give me another one. Right? If he does want me to have it, so he won't give it to me. Meanwhile, I'm doing a mitzvah with it. So therefore, it's not pshat, it's not about tashchus, it's not what he called, because there's a fochta mitzvah in it, and this declaration is simply, we want you to know what madrega you're at. You have to know, taki your keich habitochen, if you really believe this or not. Okay, so if a person makes such a declaration, that pshat is everything that I have nothing. There's nothing there's never any kesheri states in yodi here. That's the biggest chesol kiss that you could have. And if the person makes that kind of a declaration, that needs chizuk, that needs rizus, that needs something that you see that you really mean it. Like this big deal, $5, someone gave it to me. And this thing is that my ganze costs thousands of dollars and stuff like that. But there's a big thing there. Yeah. Then he goes out and he has to do the deshin, the Tumas HaDeshin. Tumas HaDeshin is like, what do? He takes a shovel full of ashes, and he takes it and puts it by the side of the mizbeach, and it sinks into the floor, and it disappears. And this happens, right? If it's called a housekeeping union, in other words, you got to get some ashes off the mizbeach. That's the point. So you have to get rid of all the ashes on the mizbeach. The mizbeach has a tremendous amount of ashes, and over there. It takes it's all the thing. Thank you. The fire is always burning, so you have all of that and all the korbanos that's on it and everything else. A tremendous amount of ash, Elavos, what's the so obviously you can't, and for that they take off the ashes every so often, but they don't put it on the side of the mizbeach. They put it to the side of on the mizbeach, to the side and stuff. But they don't take it and put it place where it disappears. So it's not a point of housekeeping. So what is the point of what do we accomplish with this? He didn't take off anything. I'm not sure you took off. It's a big deal. So what's the idea is that this is somehow the ashes is the reminder that we did the korbanos the proper way. Like we always think when we talk, we saw when Avram Avinu was mispalel when he was makriv the aisle, that he said the benchim shemikabel it as the ashes of Yitzchak. So when he was mistakel in the thing there, from that he got a tremendous amount of what do you call it, of hakorah to the Mesiras Nefesh of Klal Yisrael to him, and he saw because he saw the ashes of Yitzchak. So in some Samashma there's a thing, and this is what's left over for a complete dedication to you. We gave you everything we have, and this is all that there is. So that's holy, tremendous holiness to it, because there's nothing left to it that is good. The fact that the fire is always there. The actual the fuel for the fire, I guess the korbanos are a tremendous amount of fuel. I would not consider the meat fuel, even though I assume it burns. But the fats, the chalavim, I would assume is fuel, because that can be turned in, because he said, you see, so obviously whale tallow, whatever they used to do it. They used to use the fat of the whale for lamps and stuff like that. So obviously fat is something that can be burnt, that now they can light. So that's a fuel. It's something that keeps the fire on. Also, when you put down, but what do you put down? You put down shteit gizri eitzim, you put down 2 pieces of wood a day. That's not going to add too much anything else. Obviously, it's the additional stuff that you put in that burns the thing. And the idea is we have to keep this fire burning. I guess if there's ever a shayla that's not enough stuff, you probably have to put on wood, if there would be such a shayla. I don't know if there ever would be. Of course, when they used to move, the mizbeach was covered up with the fire on it. The fire would cool down and become like a little animal, and hang in a little corner there, because the fire is something that can't go out. So the ikar is what's the mile of the fire? So I think you go into it, there are 2 types, and this may be the shnei gizri eitzim and the vavius mistake and so on. Adam, Cain, Hevel, they brought korbanos that we know about, and they did not make any fires. So they didn't make any fires, so what was the purpose of a fire? The fire was, the Benishim showed by his bringing down a fire that he's mikabel the korban. That he found favor. So therefore by Adam and and Hevel, he brought it. Cain, he didn't put the fire down, so he knew it didn't accept Cain's korban. Noach, on the other hand, he went and made the fire himself, right? And therefore, and what he was able to create, which mashmad, that who says you can create that? He was able to make a reach nechoyach. That's what it says. that the Ben Shem smelled the reach nechoyach that he made. So that was it. So therefore, by Avram Avinu, we learned there was a suffix to him. How is he supposed to bring Yitzchak as a korban? The Ben Shem was already makdish Yitzchak as the korban, right? He doesn't need to show that he wants him because he told him to bring him. So there's no big, what do you call them that, and what's in that. So what is my chiyuv in it? Just the shechtim, then he'll bring it up when he's going to show it, or I have to bring the fire, because he brings the machel. He brought the fire also, he brought the eish, the machel, so he brought with the understanding that he's going to make the fire, and stuff like that. But came though to the Beis HaMikdash, and the Mishkan, and stuff, what happened? The fire came down in the Shemayim, and the thing. So that makes a reich nechoyach. If anything that we put on the mizbeach with that fire is going to become a reich nechoyach, because the fire is a reich nechoyach. Yeah, and we need that because a lot of times the kavonas are not the best kavonas and whatever it is. But the Rebbeinu Shalom guarantees us that he's brought a korban, the Shem Mitzvah, that he's going to accept it as a korban. Or it's the proper korban, you brought it with the right kavanas, not the right kavanas. Obviously, not everything is with 100% pure kavanas. In any mitzvah, I think I once learned pshat, this thing you have the Gemara, that you have where a guy was down the Kav Schus. You know, the Goyim bring it on the Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Lozman Azariah, but it doesn't make a difference who the people were. That there was a poor person that was working for 3 years as a farmer, and he wanted to go home. And he asked him for his paycheck, he wanted to go home for Rosh Hashanah. And he told him he doesn't have any, when he asked him for the money, he says he has no money. He asked him, give me some behemoths. I don't have any behemoths. Give me some land. I don't have any land. I have nothing. Yet he sees he's working for this guy and there's animals all over the place, things all over the place. He's a rich man. And what do you think did? And he asked him what he was down for. So then he told him he doesn't have, so he went home without anything. After Sukkot, the man came and with his salary, with this money he owed him, plus matonis and stuff like that. And he asked them, what did you believe or did? So he told him this, I thought you found a good deal, so therefore you had no cash. This, you were magdish it, and he said that was taka what happened, and the fact that you were down me l'kav schus, Ben Shem should be down you l'kav schus. So the Kashi always asked, that I asked that time to the Shiva, I didn't understand it, that maybe I can be down you l'kav schus because I don't know the truth. So therefore, if I have two questions, so be down l'kav schus. The Ben Shem knows the truth, so how can you down me l'kav schus? Doesn't make any sense. So Shiva told me he can do it. And it took me many years to understand. I first, not understanding it, with a different shot then, that the person that's done people a kav schus is not choshid that people are going to be choshid him. Right? Because why should you be choshid me? I don't know choshid the other guy, so I wouldn't even think that you're choshid him for. And therefore I'll be Eva Marasayan many times. So the Bnei Shalom should not punish me for those things because I'm a person that's down the kav schus. Okay, that's the way I learned Pshat. Okay, but many years later, I came to the conclusion that Rosh Shiva was right. And I was once saying Gavinu Malkeinu, and it says, because Feinu b'Sefer Schuyos, you want to say Zachrenu l'Schuyos, it doesn't make a difference. We're talking about Sazmei Tshuva the rest of the year. It don't make sense. I said, fine. I deserve it, I don't deserve it. I'm asking you, write me in there. Because I deserve it, I don't deserve it, write me in there. Because we say for Schuyas, I didn't do any mitzvahs, how are you going to write me in the book? It didn't make any sense. So I came to the conclusion that Pshat is a person does mitzvahs for many, many reasons. In the same thing, let's say a person builds a building for yeshiva, right? Once he's giving it, he wants to give a building to the yeshiva. But he also wants his father's name on the building. He also wants that everybody should know that he gave it. And he named the thing there, so there's a lot of this gaiva involved, there's the mitzvah, l'shem mitzvah involved, and same thing there. So I'm asking, so I'm doing a lot of things for many reasons, but which is the one I want you to count with initially? Remember, I did a mitzvah. That's the point I want you to write down, because the same thing, everybody understands, even the person who's done the kafschus, he's not stupid. He understands there are other motives involved, that there could be other motives involved. But this man is probably your ikya motive, like Pshat is. If that's the case, so you'll also be done, because something like that. So anyway, we're talking about how to get with the wood. Anyway, so my kavanas are not necessarily the same, but the Rebbeinu Shalom, whatever it is, these mekabelut, because we had a shtickle kavanah. Now, in this thing, and he was mitzvah us to put down shtei gizrei eitzim under that. So therefore, he wants something from us in the fire, but he doesn't want it as a new fire, as like a bummer. That's no fire is coming down. You want to get it burnt, you go and make your own fire. No, this is the mizbeach. So therefore, I want you to have your own dedication to it, but the ikya fire is going to be Mashemayim. And that's where they probably made it. It could be, we don't know when Taki, Nadav made the toyas at that, it could be when they saw that the fire was not coming down. They figured maybe we thought we have to have it, and therefore they went and they jumped the gun, and then that's why they brought it up. Because why would they jump the gun? I mean, why would they think you needed their own fire? In other words, there's no fire there, so there's something's going wrong. So we must be our own fire. Alpha PK, you're supposed to make these slishbenis. So there's the thing there. Whatever it is, I'm just saying that whatever you figured to add, but Lamaisa, that's the thing there, but the Chiyuv is on the Ikyazach, the fire is eternal. And therefore that fire is always going to be in Hashemayim. I assume it came down in Bayesheni also, and the Mirza Shadlo Sedlovai. Unless they buried the fire with it. I can't answer that. I don't know. Okay, then he brings about the Mechas Chavitin, which can be brought technically possible that one person can bring 3 chavitin in one day. In other words, the day he's appointed Kohen Gadol is the same day he got appointed, meaning that he was able to first do avodah. It's 2 times, right? Then Kohen Gadol, and the Kohen Gadol has to bring every day. So there's 3 times. He has to bring the one day he becomes Kohen Gadol. He also has to bring it because the Kohen Gadol must bring every day, so he must bring 2 already. And if that happened to be the first day he became a Kohen, period, so there's 3 that shayach to have 3 chavitin. And those chavitin and no one can eat it from there. No, that has to be completely burnt up. And Emerson, it's like every Kohen's thing. Why is this different than every Kohen's? But I think this is even more so because by regular Kohen, it's also like a Kohen's being a korban. How can another Kohen eat from Yera's dedication? So from Yisrael's dedication, we say he can eat because I'm fort the hecher mensch than the Yisrael. Now we have Kedushas Aaron too, and he doesn't have it. But once we have the same Kedusha, like how am I taking your thing and feeling that I have the shus to eat it, a gashmis neke'inyan, to your ruchnis? It doesn't make any sense. About chavitin, that there's never a havamim, because that is a complete dedication to Avodas Hashem. In other words, the Kohen Gadol always has to rededicate himself every day. And a Kohen, I'm coming, the day they're making me a Kohen, I'm going to do avodah for the first time. That means your hands must be shaking. You think that there's a tremendous responsibility that now came upon you, that you're going to do it. So therefore, that thing, nobody can eat from that. That's something that's a special zach. And the reason half and half is, I guess, would be similar to the same swallow of why the Shnei Tamidim, one in the morning, one at night, where we have Krishma twice a day. Now when you start the day, it's got to be with the Zoba dedication is when you end the day. And even though the end of the day could be with Hatzlacha or without Hatzlacha, it doesn't make a difference. You have no guarantee what's going to be in the future. But whatever that I'm going to end the day is, I have to end it the way I started it. The Zoba B'tochen, the Zoba Emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a dedication to him no matter how bad the day was. And that's the person has the thing there. And that's the Zach. Now you have an interesting thing by the Chatos. Where does it say? He says, let's see, by the Chatos in Vayikra. Okay, it says okay. And sometimes it says the Loshin by Kodesh Kedoshim. I think by the oil itself, it says you should send it B'tzofen to Mishaychet. When it talks about the Chatos, it says B'mokim asher tishochet es ha'oila tishochet ha'chatos. Now, it could have said do it B'tzofen. Like to say, what does he have to get? It's 3 extra words you have over there. So I think this is the point that the lesson that he's trying to push across to us is that people have a concept that once I was chayte, there's a tremendous yishadas. Even when a guy does shuvah, like you felt I'm still a rotten bum, I'm still no good, I'm still nobody, and who am I and what is this? No. I want you to know after you brought the chatas, it's with mokum ha'oila. In other words, that just like the oila is a thing of uplifting, your kaddish, your guy that's a heiche mensch, you bring the chatas is going to turn you into the person that can bring the oila. And therefore there's not such a thing. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel depressed about yourself. Bad you can feel. That we want you to feel bad so you won't do it again. But depressed you can't feel. You can't feel like, I have no hope. I have no what do you call it. That doesn't exist. By us, that always exists. That's the same thing with the Russia we're going to have from Yetz Hashem to the Seder. The whole concept of Korban Pesach is that we don't give up on Klal Yisrael. Now, even though they're trefnakis, whatever you want to call them, but l'maisa, as long as the Yidden, we don't give up on them. And that's the point. Vayikdu vayishtachavu. It says only by Rosh. When they told him about the Rosh, it said vayikdu vayishtachavu absuras ha'oretz v'absuras ha'bonim. Rashi says. But he told you what kind of kids you're going to have. You're going to get a bunch of bums for kids. I just think, a Yid is not kingoy. That's first of all, no matter how bad he is, a Yid is not kingoy. I used to put that down between, let's say, Trotsky and Stalin. The difference, both were murderers, both were rotzchim sharing. He killed millions of people. But Lamaisa, Trotsky Taki wanted a better world, wanted for people, and Stalin wanted power. That's the difference. So, a goy is the king, a yid is the king goy. As long as he's a yid, his kavanas are different, and therefore his kavanas that he's doing it for the world's, for the tachlis of the Olam. So Memele, there's always hope for him, and he can always come back. And that's the point of Korban Pesach. And that's what's the only one it's called Korban Hashem, because we always hope to bring back everybody. Just this time, housekeeping thing, the talking about what they cooked in those times. So they used to cook in kli cheres, right, which is a quake pot, and then what did you do with it? You busted it, because you can't get out the kachim from it, so therefore you have to break it. But it's cheap enough, so you break it. Or b'kli mechoshish. What about kli basil? Didn't have any stainless steel pots. So obviously they used copper. So it took us how many years? I remember as a kid, we bought stainless steel. Oh, that was a chef's zach. Then all of a sudden you got copper-bottomed stainless steel pots and stuff like that. All of a sudden copper is bad because it brings the fire easier or more equally around the thing than metal was. So they knew about that a long time. We ever do that originally, basically. Yeah. Okay. How many is it here for the tunnel? Yeah. Then he brings the shlomim. So Chatayder, brings this, the first of, he divides the shlomim into 2 points before we get into the other ends. About the chaylev and that. There's 2 types of shlomim, but you see from the way the Rebbeinu Shem has made the shlomim what you're supposed to do with it. Faran, toida that you bring, so the din is you bring with it 40 types of bread with it, and the korban, and it's mutter to eat for 2 days. For 1 day, only 1 day. A shlomim, a regular shlomim, I don't bring any breads with it, and I can only eat it, and I can eat it for 2 days. So why the differences in the things? The idea is if you bring the toida because something happened to you good, a nes, or grace hatzlocha, whatever it is, you have to give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah tells you, I want a big party. I want a big party. You can't eat the food after today, so you better invite a lot of people. You got 40 loaves of bread, you have something to eat the meat with. So you have a suda here, right? On the other hand, the guy is bringing a shlomim, which is a self-dedication of the realization that we were eating from shulchan gavoya kochlu. So that's a personal hagosha. They don't have to make any parties. You can think there, and obviously it's too much for 1 day. You can eat it in 2 days and stuff like that. But this is the thing. But the idea is that the whole concept of Neisel and all these things is to realize that you're eating kachim, that you're eating from Shulchan Gavoya. It's not even more than, eat more than Shulchan Gavoya that I realize that it's God's I'm eating. But I'm eating the Kedusha. The Bensham is giving me a chance to partake in kachim, to eat achilas kachim. That itself is a mitzvah. That itself is something. You got a chance. There's a time limit to that. It doesn't work. That's the din of pickle. That's the din of what do you call it? It's not just I eat it when I want to eat it. It's like I have a steak in the refrigerator. I want to eat it. Well, now 2 days from now. I don't eat it now. No. You have to eat it today because that's the only day I'm giving you a chance to participate. So therefore, you have to reach a madrege for that, and therefore you work on that. Now it also says, then he talks about the tumah. If you eat when kochim, when you tumah or you makiv it, or anything that something, and he throws in choltei v'choldam, or we'll see that in a minute. Okay, so he says, but what does that teach you? In the fact that that your tummy is brought in over here. It could be brought in by any korban. It could be brought in when kehanim you can eat a chatas. If the tummy you can't eat a chatas. You can't eat it. I hear it's warning you that is what people forget about sometimes. The power of busha. Okay. In other words, you made a big deal. Bring your korban taida, right? I invited all the cousins, all the uncles, and everybody else were coming about. It's a big invitation we sent out, making a big deal about this. We're all going. On the way, the balabos became tomei b'sheretz tomei, or the meat became tomei, something like that. And now he hasn't got a party. So there's a big yetzer hara to overlook it. In other words, not to overlook. Therefore, he's telling you here, by other things, you have a gift to eat from there. If it's tummy, I can't eat it. So what's coming ton? Over here, I invited people. I'm not putting in, and you see how much that pusha works. That it's, important that the kone to make a shalom zocher out of the cheap stuff. We only can make albus and beer and things like that, but no chicken and no wine and no the things that not to give those things by Shalom Zocha is why? Because that was a sudid that people gave takim. So he has a case where the guy was a poor guy, he couldn't afford it, so he killed his kid. So he shouldn't have to give the Shalom Zocha. Now, because he was a mevuyish, that he could. But that's why they made the takona. You can't give expensive stuff by Shalom Zocha, because a person actually killed his kid by Shalom Zocha. So therefore, the idea is that busha is a tremendous power that it has over a person. That I can't face it. We find people that kill themselves because of busha. In other words, whatever it is. And so it's an important thing. Then it says also, you're allowed to use it for work. To make it into something, if it is such a thing. The limud ala chaylev she'ena mitamet tumas nevelos. That's the chiddush. You have a dead animal, right? A dead animal is tomei. Yet the chaylev of the dead animal is not tomei. Because it says you can make it into something else. Make it into candles, make it into soap, make it into whatever it is there. They think this, so it's not mikabel. Why? Obviously, because it's not food. Chaylev you can never eat. Fat, yeah. Shemen is that's food. But chaylev is not food, because you're also to eat it all the time. So this never became a din of food. So therefore, on one hand, it comes out to me that this din of banavela like kelef tashlichan, I say, that they tell you what you're supposed to do with nevelas. First, it says, or to sell it to a guy. So mashmat, the first thing is to give it to the dog. because the dog gets the schar for not barking, whatever is there. So therefore, that's more better than you're making a profit on it, right? Over here, should I give it to the dog and make soap out of it? So God mashman, it's not food. So the din about tashchus, maybe if you give it to the dog. Like this, you're not supposed to give to the dog something that you can eat. You have stuff you can't eat, so you give to the dog. But stuff you can eat, you don't give to the dog. But here, this is chaylev, which is maybe made. Maybe you can't give it to the dog because maybe it's made to use. You should get something out of it, not that it should be used for the dog. Something to think about. I don't have a raya one way or the other, just from the Russian and Pasuk and stuff.
Supposed to cut the animal.
I'm sorry?
Supposed to cut the animal and give. You're supposed to cut the veil. You're supposed to cut the veil into two parts. Give some to the animal, and the other one just.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's whatever it is. If it has a chshivas that it's called use for something else, it's a valuable thing. So I can't give it all to the dog. You buy dog food, whatever it is that cheap animals, whatever they give the dogs for the thing there. Or bones, or whatever the thing there. But I'm saying, but if it has no kedusha, it has no value at all, so you say, hey, give it to the dog, it saves me money. Let's say I have no money to feed the dog, and then the only thing I have is some chaylev, so maybe I could do it then, because then it's not about tashchus. I'm using it to save myself, so I have no money. But anyway, you see, this is a thing. Chaylev was reserved for the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's on the Mizbeach. You find the shatnez reserved for Kodesh Baruch Hu, be the kahuna. That's it. No one else can use shatnez. Goyim use shatnez and stuff like that because that's what you want to make a beautiful coat, let's say, right? But you also want it to last. Now, wool can hold a pressing, what would you call it? A seam? Not a seam. A crease. Would hold a crease. So therefore, it's a nice thing. Linen cannot hold a crease. So a person wears linen, it's all creased all the time because it just gets creased whatever way you wear it. It's not very comfortable maybe and stuff like that, but it has that look that it's what he calls. So if you want to get both strength and what do you mix it together. If you guys look at their own suits, you'll find that we don't have shatnez now, and the thing there. Usually dresses you do find the shatnez, the actual dress made out of it. But by suits, I never heard of actual suit made out of shatnez. But if you take a look, your suit is made out of polyester, nylon, something, and wool. In other words, why the wool is for the beauty, and the nylon and all the synthetic is for the power, for the strength. Rayon. That's what they give it to you for. And the stuff like that. When shatnez is supposed to be the linen is given for that. And stuff like that. So the goyim used to use, and you actually used to use it. Lindsay, one's a woolsey. That was the clothes of the Puritans. They used to wear shatnez and stuff because you have both milas. On the other hand, we don't have it, even though it's logical that way. That's the why that's a chayk in the sense of the thing. Why is it a chayk? I mean, Benjamin said it. They want for the mizbeach and stuff like that. Yeah, but you want beauty and you want strength. So it's the chazach. Except the Benjamin said, I don't want you to use it. That's all. I mean, logic. So it says the loshin the Rashi uses is that the goyim answer us, as opposed to by the paraduma they make fun of us, right? Because that has no reason, no logic, doesn't make any sense. God do crazy things. Okay, this makes sense. So if God made an animal like a chazer, that's what goes together with chazer. Menshe made a chazer, right? So why did he make a chazer? Chazer is made only for eating. has no other tachlis. Every other thing, oxen, it's made for tachlis. The oxen is that they're going to plow your fields. It's made for work. It's not made necessary for food, but we eat it also. Aber chazir is not made for work. It's made only for eating. So why don't you eat it? You see, God made it for that. So there's the biggest raya, right? And so our answer is, you're right. But God said no. What can we do? You're right. Your logic is right. It's 100% right. The tachlis is food. But the Tzav said no. The Yeshiva used to learn that as pshat is. That's what reminds you there's a God in the world. He said it by the Eitz Hadas. He says, what was the tachlis of the Eitz Hadas? Besides the fact that Mention made it. That's not my business, why he made it. But he said, but every time Otto Marisha walked past the Eitz Hadas, he will look at it and say, those fruit look pretty good. Did stuff there. I don't have a Yetzirah for it, I never tasted them, so I don't really jumping to go to taste it, but it would be nice. I'm curious to find out what it would taste like and stuff like that. He said, oh well, God said no, so I can't eat it. So I remembered it's God. So the same thing by a chazir. It's logical, looks good, it looks that they made it look real nice and stuff like that, but God said no. No kasha. And I told him to the Yitzhak, you remember God said no, the Balabos said no. So that's chaylev. Dam, the reason is the real Yitzhak to eat dam or not. There's a machlek is what Rabbi Yehuda said that they used to drink dam in their time and stuff like that. So it could be, there was, but pashtus, I don't see the dam changes taste or anything. That all of a sudden I should want them. Is the guys, there's, I don't know what blood pudding is made out of, so I can't answer that. There's by the goyim, there's a thing called a blood pudding. I don't know what it is there, but the guys eat rare, right? I don't think they mean dam. But yes, for sure not. I have an aide, and I noticed that he likes to go with me because he gets to eat different foods in different places. What you felt your food, and stuff good. How can you know all the food in the world? It's not the same food. The guy's meat does not taste like our meat. Our meat is salty. A guy's meat is not salty. They don't salt the meat. So there's a difference in taste. Mitchila, the thing over there, there's blood in it. They don't take out the blood. It's a different, has a different type of thing. When we talk about a rare steak or something like that, red means the blood is ready to take it out, whatever it is there. But they still have the redness in it. That the thing. You don't want this thing soaking in blood over there and drink the blood. So why do people drink blood? For Parshas says you are what you eat. What does that mean? Why does a cannibal exist? I have no idea what human flesh tastes like, so I can't answer you. But I assume it's not the most delicious of foods. I'd rather have probably a steak rather than a human being. So beings. And they're short food. I'm sure they can go find an animal in the field. They don't have to have a war and catch a guy and eat him up. That doesn't make sense. Elavos, I want the keches that he has. That people eat the liver of lions. Why? Because I get the kech of the lion through eating it. I become a lion. So that's the thing that you want to do it. You should know, you don't become holy, you don't become anything. He says, the Rashiv uses for Yain Nesach. Says, what kind of Shugoyim are always going around, especially drunks, are always a child of Yain Nesach. What am I drinking cup Yain Nesach? I want to say drinking the wine, drinking cup with Nesach. But if you hold that the way to become holy is to ingest holiness, like this, by them, by Goyim, especially Christians, they have communion. that they eat a shtickle matzah and a little bit of wine. That symbolizes the flesh and blood of Yeshke. So by eating that, you become holy and stuff like that. And even though we have eaten mitzvahs, they don't become holy because we do a mitzvah. We get schar for doing the mitzvah. We don't become holy. That's a difference. But they hold to become holy with it. Become holy with it, so then if they're holy, the easiest way to become holy is minasach the yayin and drink it.
What does it mean? I share kiddushin with mitzvahs?
Yeah.
Kiddushin, so we get kedusha by mitzvahs?
Yeah, but not because of you're eating it. It's because I'm doing a mitzvah. Okay? But here it's because I'm eating it. So therefore, if drinking wine, necessarily wine is going to make me holy, so I like to drink wine, so I mean that's all my wine. Why should I be cheap on the wine? So definitely, that's it. So same thing with the dam. Here the pasuk doesn't bring it. Usually says alot tishpachenu kamoyim. Later on in Rome, I think it's the lotion is called. That was it has no chshivas at all to me. It's mamish like water. Okay. Then there's the mitzvah that they also have to give it over to Moshe Rabbeinu was the din of a Kohen Gadol for the 7 days of the Maluyim. In other words, he was Makadosh them. Now, how come he didn't need any Kedusha? Because he was Moshe. So I have no kasha on that. But Aharon, he had to be Magdish, and his Bana for sure. So they had the Kiyah had four faucets to it. One on each side for Aharon, Elazar, Soma, and Moshe. With that already, I know exactly how they weren't dead yet at that time, because in the first day of the Beis HaMikdash, so how was it that way? I can't answer you the questions, but I think somebody asked it somewhere. That, we should have two more, or something like that, at least for the Havamim, whatever. In Emerson, it's, if you go to a pasuk, it says over there, it's going to be next week probably in Shmini, it says that the first, the Navdav Avihu died, and then Elazar Summer took their places. Why should they take their places? They're individuals. They were also Kohanim. Right? They were another thing. Mashma that first Nadav was his Gana Koyanim, which Elazar became, and I guess in the other one, and it must have been doing over what he's supposed to be in charge of Levium, which Yisoma later becomes in charge of. So maybe that's what it means. And was the top jobs of the Kohanim were given to only two. So therefore, that's what it means. I don't know. I can't see. Anyway, there's a thing. I don't remember what I said on this, but why he didn't put on the Mechmasayim for them. He put on all the other begodim, but not the Mechmasayim. The Mechmasayim they put on themselves, mashma. Yes, here is the avodah, what they're supposed to do, and it's as if it's done, but in the setters, in Shmini and Achemois, they're going to talk about the fact that it didn't start, the fire didn't start, or whatever it is, I'm saying. So, or they didn't come down yet, and everything did. So we first I guess, giving you the tzivui, just like the difference between Truma to Tzav and then Ya'akov Pekudei. In other words, I'm giving you the tzivui, and then I'm telling you what they did. And the same thing here, the tzivui is in Tzav, but the actual avodah is going to be in Shmini and Benachim Mois. You know what I'm saying? So, now, this kasha, I mean, this is a practical kasha, but I don't know if it's a kasha or not. Because the din is forever. The Kohen Gadol, whoever becomes Kohen Gadol, has to be separated for 7 days before he has the Kedusha, Kedunis Gedela. Everything there. Here, to make them Kohanim, they had to be, the 7 days of Meluyim, they had to be separated into the Beis HaMikdash, into the Mishkan. So it says over in Pesach Omoed Leiseitzu Shivas Yom Ad Yom Eleisim Emeliyechem. Shivas Yom is what it takes at the end of the Parsha. Okay. You gotta go to the bathroom. Where do you go? I mean, it's whatever it is there. So on the Mishkan, I got no problems. They didn't have to go to the bathroom in the Mishkan. Because all they ate was the lemon, and the shaila is why not from the slav? Why didn't they have to go to the bathroom from the slav? Because that's normal. But the lemon was called lechem hakleikel, that it's only had in it things that the body can use. So it's totally used up in the body. And there was nothing to come out. There was no extra. And normally stuff, you have roughage and stuff like that. That's why they were choshid that it to kill them, because it's lechem hakleikel. They don't have any residue that comes out. So you get cancer, right? And the thing don't. So that was why they made the lashon hara they made on the mon. But biyatzim adin, mon was the target didn't have to go to the bathroom. So maybe target for Aaron and Bana, if there was no kashi, you go over there 7 days, you don't have to go to the bathroom anyways, there's no problem. Over there, just sleep and eat there, that's fine. I have no say, but what about in the regular Beis HaMikdash? So where the Kohen Gadol had to be separated for Tyra and stuff like that, there's a special room for him and to be there. So maybe that's what it means over there, that they'll do in a place where they made sure there's no animals and no things, and the thing doesn't. There can't be any way of coming tummy. I can't really answer it, but yeah. The Navi, the Stammas, the Yirmiyah, give him Musa, which is really what goes to us. And the Yemtzeis Yesrom Eretz Mitzrayim, he was not Mitzaveh. He was not Mitzaveh, the din of Oila and Zevach. There was no such thing that came over later. What did it come? Matan Torah came to Chayr. They have the Korbanos before. We do find Korbanos before by the Matan Torah, when they were Mekabel, Nasiv and Ishma, before then, they brought Korbanos. and the thing over. That's the way it says in Parshas Mishpatim. Washing over there. ויכתב מוישה וישכים בבוקר ויבא מזבח תחת ההור ו12 מצב ו12 שבטי ישראל וישלח נער בני ישראל, which is the Kohanim at that time, the Bechayrim, ויעלו אילס ויזבחו זבחים, which is before Matan Torah, but there was no command to do it. In other words, what it means is, I guess, that they obviously Adam brought the korban, we said Kain Hevel, Mayach brought korbanos without a tzivah. There was no tzivah to bring korbanos, but there was a hargosha that there's something we have to show thankfulness or so, or call what we believe in, or whatever it is, some kind of ma'aseh dedication that we have to do. But it wasn't a din of the tzivah, so you can't say that you're doing these things, that the ikar of the mitzvah is because it's a mitzvah. This is more than the ikar is listen to God. That's the ikar mitzvah. Anything past that is the ikar of your pshat that is a mitzvah in itself. So that to start off, I didn't start you off with a mitzvah korbanos. You can't put on an act. If you put on Midaf davnen, right? You really had kavona, you didn't have go, Midaf davnen, that's why you start cup, Midaf davnen, so you daven, right? Okay, Midaf lelman, Midaf lelman, but that, I don't have to know what I'm learning, you know? Midaf lelman. Okay. So those things don't count. The ikar is, listen to what the Hashem wants. He wants you to listen to God. He wants you to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that part is a davar rochok. A lot of people that think everyone's Reuven, meaning they do all the mitzvahs the right way, but when it comes to business, comes to other things, and all of a sudden they're not the same. Why? Because they don't really have that b'toch in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They don't really have it. And that's really what the Bensham wants. That's all that he's saying. You know, you want to bring korbanos to show your dedication, you show your belief, you show your things, that's fine. But it's not a ma'aseh in itself. It has to do with something showing what you believe. And that's the point. It's not a ma'aseh korban that you have, there's a mitzvah to bring a korban. That's not the mitzvah. Mitzvah is to bring Hashem, the b'toch, and then mainly you bring a korban to the thing. So that's the point, the thing. And sometimes we forget that. No, it's supposed to be daven HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because we're supposed to make a relationship between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, that we understand we're asking Him for things and stuff, not just this, that we're just shuckling there for a couple of minutes. That's not the point of davening. I mean, davening is daven to Hashem. You know, and that a lot of people forget the word. What are you davening? Because it's part of Seder Yeshiva, part of the thing. Not because I'm learning. I'm saying, well, what are you learning? I'm learning Vometzi, I'm learning Dvar Hashem. Who says that? You know, I mean, that's the point. We forget that part sometimes, and that's the part we have to remember. And that, I think, what the Haftarah's purpose is. Yes, yeah, good Shabbos, everybody. Have a good Shabbos. Good Shabbos, and don't forget, it's about 3 weeks to Pesach. I think that.